The story from the project, innocent black man. Let me be clear. Damn, man. The story from the project, innocent black man.
What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Small Account Challenge. Today is day number 117. The market is trying to bounce back. It was a lot of energy today. I felt I traded well, so I'm not upset. Just wasn't able to pull out a green day, but I was able to trade my strategy and let the market do what it do. Anyway, I'm going to tell you exactly how we took the $65 loss in today's midday market recap. All right, y'all, let's go over the trades from this morning. Only got into 5 trades, but there was a lot of adding in my trades because that's how I want to trade now. So anyway, let's go over it. The first trade we took today was on SPY. Let's pull the charts up. All right, SPY had a lot of energy in the pre-market, so the market is trying to bounce back. But of course, you know the bears got a grip on the bulls, so things ain't always going to be too sweet. Anyway, our first trade was at 9.32 to the downside. All right, cool. The candle that starts the market at 9.30 was a green candle. I was watching it. As it came up to a key level, I jumped in 9.32, rolled it down. I jumped in, let the guardrails do what they do. It was kind of moving, kind of shaky. So once it got to 10%, I moved to 10% and took it out. And that was our first trade of the day. We was up on that play 10%. I was like, all right, cool. I let it work for a while. Once it reached 10%, we took it. All right, okay, cool. The next trade was on SPY to the downside at 10.07. This one we lost on. All right, here we go. Let's go over to 10 o'clock. All right, cool. The candle that opens up 9.50 and closes at 9.55 was a heavy green candle. Going up, but I saw it coming to a key level, so I was looking for that, hit that key level in reverse. That was going to be my entry. As the candle closed at 9.55, the next candle closes at 10 o'clock. It hits that key level and breaks through, but I don't think it's strong enough. So I'm not convinced it's strong enough. On the very next candle, it starts to squeeze through a little bit, but I start to notice it starts to reverse a little bit. Why is it making that candle? So on the next candle, the one that closes at 10.10, I jumped in 10.07. It's still squeezing against me. I'm like, all right, cool. I jumped in 10.07.06. At 10.07.37, I added because it was still going up. Bring the cost basis down. I'm watching it now. As you can see, we kind of stuck up there. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's just let this trade work. It's working. The candle closes. The very next candle, when it opens up at 10, closes at 10.15, I add at 10.12 in 9 seconds. I'm like, all right, cool. I think we got the right entry on this one. This is good. And on the very next candle, because now I got those 3 contracts, and I saw the energy begin to pick up real heavy. The volume begin to pick up real heavy on this. I gotta watch it real carefully now, just in case we don't get it squeezed and it break through the next key level, and that pretty much will destroy the day. But I noticed it did want to climb a little bit. So at 10.20, I said, you know what? Let's just call this one what it was, a dud. And we took the loss on that one. It was kind of a heavy loss, but not really a heavy loss, but enough where we lost the gains on the first trade. All right, cool. The next trade was at 10.21. We also lost on this one. All right, cool. And this one was to the upside, and this one I was wrong on. Because the previous trade looked like it did not want to come down. I jumped out thinking it was going to burst up. I jumped into this trade ready for the squeeze up. And the resistance held on pretty strong. So now I'm in at 10.21. This bad boy starts going down. I add at 10.22, trying to bring the cost basis down. I'm not nervous. I'm letting the trade work. It continue up. The candle closed 10.25. All right, cool. On the next candle, we add again at 10.28. It's a green candle, but there's a fight now between the bulls and the bears. I'm hoping that we can get a squeeze, that the bears are going to lose this fight. I'm like, all right, cool. If the bears lose this fight, we got an awesome trade, and I'm good to go. I'm not nervous. I'm letting the trade work. I'm watching. I'm like, all right, cool. And we do not get what I'm looking for, because on the 10:30 candle it closes green. The very next candle, 35, closes green. But they're not moving. They're not going in the direction I need them to go. They're kind of going up and coming back down, going up, coming back down. So they're not getting it. And that's when I realized this bad boy might reverse. And at 10:41 on the next candle, I mean the candle after the next candle, because that was a red candle at 10:40, it starts to flush. And of course, you know, I let the guardrail do what it do and pop us out. And we had we had 4 contracts on that one, and that took us that gave us a big hit. But once again, the way I traded it, I felt good about it, because I was adding at levels where I thought I needed to add, and where it need, and with things with a trade trade needed to be added at. So anyway, that's how that one went. It's alright, cool. Then the next 2 trades we won on and brought us back. But right now we down about 100, maybe 150, $170 on the day. But we bring it back on the next 2 trades, and that's how we finished the day. Alright, cool. The next trade was at 10:41 to the downside. Once I saw that flush, I knew the bills was in control. So I remember the last trade I jumped out 10:41 in 20 seconds. This one I jumped in 10:41 in 45 seconds. I'm like, alright, cool. At 10:42, I added another contract, 10:42 in 10 seconds. Then I added another contract at 10:42 in 47 seconds, because once I saw all the energy heading down, I said, let's just ride it down. I rolled this bad boy down all the way into the next candle. The next candle closed, and we had the 3 contracts with that kind of pressure, brought us all the way out of the 170s, brought it down to about $110 on the day in terms of the red. But I'm like, all right, cool. All right, and one more trade we jumped in. This was at 10:52. We heading down. What I'm doing, I'm riding it down with it. I jumped in 10:52 on the candle that I got out of. When that closes at 10:55, before it closes, I'm back in at 10:52. I add at 10:53. It's still squeezing down. I add again at the candle closed at 10:55. I noticed, but this candle was kind of acting pretty iffy, like it wanted to go back up. But was I concerned? No, because I'm learning. You got to learn how to sit in the drawdown. I was green in this trade for a little while, then it went red. But I wasn't concerned, because I knew I had resistance coming up there, and all that pressure was coming down. I was going to be cool. I was absolutely correct. The pressure continued to go down. And when it got to 10:57, I sold my position as it got close to that key level. If I'd have kept holding, I would have been green on the day, because as you can see, it continued to sell off. But no need to be greedy. Tomorrow is another day, and we're going to continue to trade our strategy, not letting the market dictate how we're going to trade, because I'm red. But like I said, remember I told you before, I hold my trades longer trying to recover. No need to do that. I saw the green on it. It moved in our favor the way I wanted it. Get on out, and we can come back tomorrow and try to make it happen again. Like I told you on this channel, now you're going to see bigger wins and bigger losses. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. Ready to take this account where we need to go. As long as I get good entries, I'm cool with that. Anyway, y'all, that's how today went. We'll be back in tomorrow for day number 118. All right, y'all. Peace.